Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to this special edition of the Island Stats Sports Talk. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me is Kamau Leverock. Kamau, you guys will still be feeling the effects of or the disappointment of not being able to qualify for the T20 World Cup, just being a game away, and unfortunately went down to Canada in that final game. But take us through the emotion since that game for you yourself personally.
Um, yeah, I couldn't watch cricket for a while. I know that. I missed half of the World Cup, to be honest, the one day World Cup, 50-over World Cup, because I just couldn't bring myself to watch any cricket. It was very disappointing. So, I think the emotions are still there. Especially seeing, other teams qualify, going through their qualifiers now.
Yeah. Um, cricket. You have been playing for a while. You've been playing T20 in the U.S. and other places. Um, what's on the horizon for you? Personally playing in that format. I know. What was it last year around this time? You were playing for Florida Scorpions.
Yeah, seems nothing has really popped up in the last few months. Just kind of struggling to get a gig, and it's quite disheartening, to be honest. You know, uh, Good luck to Del Rey, who's on the way to play for Florida Scorpions at the moment in the U.S. Open. But for me, nothing has really materialized.
Hmm. Do you just think it's been bad luck, or what do you think it's down to? I mean, you struck some form when you were there, even when you was over in, I think you was over in California too, weren't you?
Um, no, I
Chicago.
was in Houston as well.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's I don't know. I think cricket is a lot to do with right place, right time. Um, you know, very very seldom when you're from a small nation like Bermuda, it's to do with merit. So I guess I just have to keep waiting on, being at the right place at the right time.
Mm. The we Bermuda have a few commitments still in the 50 over. What's your future looking like in that?
um, yeah. As as it stands right now, I've made myself kind of unavailable for future, just to try and focus on myself and my career, trying to get myself into some tournaments and hopefully make a name for myself. It's getting a bit late in my career. I've sacrificed a lot in the last 13 or so years playing senior cricket for Bermuda. A couple missed opportunities to represent my country. So I think, it's time and to be a bit more selfish in my personal game. I think maybe in the future for the next year or two, because the door is closing on me as I get a
Yeah,
bit older.
sure.
To try and make something of it.
Yeah. No, you've been playing over in the UK for quite some time. How has that adjusted your game?
Um, to to be honest, my game started coming on a bit more when I started traveling to play for the Scorpions. I was getting a taste of playing against high opposition, more often. So I think my game and the way I thought, and just rubbing shoulders with players that play a high level consistently, rather than playing league cricket here, where it's pretty much like back home in Bermuda, you're playing with and against your regular average Joe type of guy. So at least when I went to play with and for the Scorpions, I was able to get around guys that have played cricket, practically their whole life and they're playing as a career. So I got to learn a different mentality, a different way to go about things, how to play the game, and that's how my game has come leaps and bounds in the last 3 years.
Mm. Take us through that first time you went through Canada. You were playing for that. I believe you were playing for the Scorpions in Canada, and then you ended up playing in Florida for the Scorpions. So, What was the difference in the two tournaments, and kind of the atmosphere? So,
Yeah, that Canada GT20, I was playing for Vancouver Knights.
mm,
Um, and then I went to play a few years later for Scorpions in the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open is kind of on a scale was a bit of a smaller
Mm.
tournament, but it has been going on for quite some time. The difference between the two is a bit more relaxed with the Florida Scorpions. With the GT20 was they're trying to make a big name for that tournament. So it was very very stringent. You're playing with the world's best players. You're playing against the world's best players. Albeit I didn't get too much of an opportunity with the one game, and Berlin won over. But it's very tough. With the Scorpions, I felt more relaxed. Couple of the lads that were playing with me on that team were from Scotland. I had Delray with me to help me get through my first tournament like that. So it was real good.
Yeah. When you look at, okay, you kind of made yourself unavailable. I mean, to look forward to your own career. Have you heard of anyone else in the squad, or what is the makeup of the squad now? Because don't they have a commitment coming up sometime within the next 3 months, 4 months?
Yeah, they have the Challenge League, the 50 over Challenge League. It's hold on hold on. Yeah. Um.
Yeah,
So what was I saying? Oh yeah, the 50 over
50 over
comp.
Challenge League.
The 50 over Challenge League is quite an important league, considering the funding and being ranked within being relative towards the 50 over World Cup. So the Challenge League, just a small synopsis of it, was you had three tournaments to play against the same teams. We were in Group C, I believe it was.
Hmm.
Um, the first tournament, Herbie Bascom was the coach, 2019. It was directly after we had qualified for the Global T20. Um, we were competitive every game. We made ourselves, a bit like we were challenging to win every game as far it was, but I think a lack of international 50 over cricket kind of hurt us. And then the next two tournaments, you had 10 games left to remain in that league. I think we took two development teams, which has now landed us in this tournament. I don't know why we decided to take development teams. I'm not too sure what it was, but we have now landed in a predicament where if we don't, land ourselves in the top four, we dump out of the Challenge League, which hurts the funding, which hurts our ranking in ICC as well. So I think it's kind of a do or die tournament for Bermuda.
Mm, mm. And when do you think things will kick in for you in the UK or wherever you're looking to? Because I know you have an agency now that is kind of shopping you around. How is that going?
Yeah, I've had an agent for the last 2 or so years. He's been working pretty hard to try and get me into some places, but it's just not working out. People are not willing to take to take a chance on me just as yet. I don't know if I have to do a bit more internationally or what, but hopefully I could get some type of movement for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we look forward to you doing what you love to do, which is play cricket in the very near future. Hopefully, we get to see you again in the pink and blue at some point in time. But you got to get your career in order first. And I think you're doing something that you think you need to do in order to do that, and let's just concentrate on yourself for now.
Yeah, like I said, it's I've been playing for Bermuda since I was 16, so about 13 years now. I've sacrificed trying to help the country, and I hope the country understands that sometimes you have to do things for yourself in order to progress.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, we want to wish you all the best. We look forward to seeing you at some point in time back in the middle, enjoying doing what you love to do.
Thanks very much.
All right. You enjoy the rest of your night. See.
You too.
Okay.